And so without further ado, here are 8 American things that Britain doesn't even have a word for.
Cool. Elephant ear.
Here's a story. Several years ago, my wife took me to the Indiana State Fair.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Mikey Reacts. I really hope you're enjoying the content that I've been putting out lately. I'm trying to reduce it ever so slightly to like 2 per day, because at this rate I'll have enough videos for 2 years and then I'll just disappear off the face of the earth. We don't want that. So today we are reacting to something else that is non-musical. I'm having a bit of a non-musical week, so bear with me. Any music that you want me to react to, leave down in the comments. I've still got a massive list and I'm getting through it. I am going to start doing content that is about half musical, half information related. You guys seem to enjoy both, so that's really something that I'm enjoying doing. So today we're going to be reacting to another Lost in the Pond. I think he's absolutely great. He speaks for a lot of Brits that moved to the United States, and there are something, do you know what? I'm learning a lot from him. He seems to have learned from experience, having been in the United States. I'm being a bit more preemptive. I'm learning before I get there so I can hit the ground running the moment I step on American soil. I can start calling myself American even sooner. The only thing that probably won't change is my accent, but my kids will speak in an American accent, and that might be an interesting family dynamic we're going to be having there. My fiance, soon to be my wife, is from the north, very close to where this gentleman's from. So she's from Manchester. If any of you like soccer, you will know Manchester City or Manchester United. So she speaks more like he does. I'm a Londoner, so I speak the way that I do. I can really turn it on and off. I speak very much like a Londoner, like a north/east Londoner. But if I want to speak the Queen's English, I really can. It's very easy for me. So that should be interesting. So I'm going to hit the ground running, learn some more things. Today we're reacting to him telling me 8 American things Britain doesn't even have a word for. I'll be the judge of that. So let's see what he's got going on. He seems to have 7 parts to this particular series. So if you guys enjoy this one, there's 6 more videos for me to react to. So this guy's absolutely great. I absolutely love him. He's fantastic. So let's get to it. Before we do that, don't forget to subscribe. You can subscribe right this second, right now. Fantastic, that was so easy. And don't forget to like this video and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any content. Also, commenting really helps the YouTube algorithm push my videos out there, really growing this channel, and that's all because of you. So don't forget to comment anything that you want to comment. And if you want to support this video financially, there is a super thanks button down below, or you can head over to my Patreon to listen to some of my political and social views. You might, if you've watched my videos, know which way I lean politically, but I'm leaving that out of these reaction videos because I want to keep those 2 things separate to a certain extent, right? So head over to Patreon. I'll be posting new videos this week, so you'll see some of my views. So I've got some headings I'm going to be putting out there is Donald Trump versus DeSantis. What do you think? And comments about the new liberal movement and what my opinions are on that. Let's just say that my favorite color is red, so you might sort of gain some understanding there. So let's get to this video, and thank you for your support, right? Sorry for this long intro. Okay, so I'm gonna press play. There'll probably be some adverts. Ads. Yeah. Nivea Men. Very good.
For 48-hour superior sweat protection.
Cool. All right. Oh, one more. And let's go.
So it's very important for British people living in America, like me, to know the difference between the shoe brand and something else that Americans call a hush puppy before I put my foot in it. In the case of the shoe. Hello, I'm Lawrence Brown, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in...
I'm not sponsored by Lipton, sorry, I don't know why I just showed you the brand. It's weird.
Pond, and one of those memos pertains to words. And you and I both know this by now. It's often said that Britain and America are two nations divided by a common language. And what does this mean? It means that English is a prominent language in both countries, but that we have different words and spellings and pronunciations for the same things. But what if I told you right here and now that both Britain and America have things for which the other country doesn't even have words? Well, today I'll be looking at a selection of those from the United States of America, a country I've lived in for the past 13 years. Now, as with all things Britain and America, a lot of these words come back to food, whereas some of them pertain to social customs, the law, and America's obscenely large landscape. And so without further ado, here are 8 American things that Britain doesn't even have a word for.
Cool. Elephant ear.
Here's a story. Several years ago, my wife took me to the Indiana State Fair. And when I say she took me there, I got absolutely no say in the matter. And even as we stood in line for the world's most famous pig race, I couldn't help but look around me.
I don't even think we have things like state fairs. We have like county fairs sometimes.
Fair food that were on offer. Of course, you had cotton candy, and of course the British do have a word for that. It's candy floss. You had hot dogs, otherwise known in Britain as hot dogs. And then you had elephant ear. And some British people, perhaps even some American people, might be thinking, oh, you ate a part of an elephant? No, thank goodness, it's not a real elephant ear. No, this is just a type of fried dough that happens to be shaped like an elephant ear or a frisbee gone wrong. And the reason I say that some Americans might not recognize this name is that it goes by different pseudonyms. You see, while Britain might not have a word for this, America has plenty. As well as elephant ear and fried dough, it also goes by fry bread. Fry bread, not to be confused with the fried bread that you might find on an English breakfast. Completely different beast.
That's amazing, by the way.
Scones, again, not to be confused with an English scone / scone. Pizza frit, or my personal favorite, frying sauces. And while we're on the subject of American-derived food, that brings us on to this.
Grits is corn-based, right?
Ah yes, grit. Now on the face of it, grits sound absolutely awful. Because when I think of the word grit, I think of two things. I think of grit to mean courage and resolve and strength of character, but usually sweat. Or grit as in small bits of stone or sand. Either way, I don't want to eat that. But it turns out that grit, a Southern American dish, is a type of porridge. And I know what you're thinking, Britain, that's ridiculous, Lawrence. We do have a word for porridge, and it's porridge. This is a specific type of porridge and a big deal in the southern United States. But in the unlikely event that you're thinking of moving to the
I know what it is. It's polenta. I'm pretty sure it's polenta, right?
States just because you want to live where grit is, but you don't want to move to the southern United States because you can't stomach 400-degree temperatures. In my experience, you can get grits here in the Midwest, and I assume other places in the United States. Second thoughts, it'd be easier just to say in Britain and look up the recipe online. That's something you can't do so easily with this. Yes, B-U-T-T-E. Now, before I go any further, it's probably important, in the interest of not being demonetized, that I point out that this word is pronounced butte. And it's probably quite an appropriate pronunciation because buttes are often beautiful, or at the very least, stunning. Now, some people might be thinking, get to the point, what on earth is a butte? Well, a butte is a very specific type of hill, and this specific type of hill is not commonly found in Britain. It's a type of hill that has a flat top and vertical or nearly vertical sides. Think of the Mitten Butte in Monument Valley in Arizona, or Devil's Tower in Wyoming, or to give it its official name, Richard Dreyfuss's mashed potato. And now that we're 3 words into the list, do you want me to go on to number 4? In other words, do you want some more? Do you want some more? Do you want some more? Well, bring it on.
Give it then. Go on then. S'mores.
You see what I did?
Well, no, that has now come over the pond, and we do know what s'mores are, I believe. It's the marshmallow thing, right?
When I first moved to the United States, I was offered a s'more and I turned it down because I was frightened of what it might be. And then somebody described the contents, and my love for them from that moment on only grew, just like my waistline. Of course, Americans know what a s'more is, but this is for my British viewers, i.e. my mom. An official s'more is a roasted marshmallow, right, stuck to a slab of chocolate. Sorry for the noises. And together, they are sandwiched between a graham cracker, right? And if you're wondering what a graham cracker is, it's similar to what the British would call a digestive biscuit, except it's square and Americans pronounce it gram. And because of the fried marshmallow element to all of this, it's perfect to make one while you're camping. And you might be wondering, why is it called s'more with an apostrophe? Because it's a contraction of some more, meaning that my segue surprisingly made sense.
I got that.
Unlike this one. Bring on the dogs.
Carhop. Oh, well, we've got an advert here.
Social media is wild.
Yeah.
It's where trends start.
Oh,
Where brand.
damn. Right, Carhop.
The word car hop has nothing to do with dogs because that would be mental. Furthermore, a car hop is not a type of car that hops because see previous comment. A car hop is somebody who serves you food but while you're in your car. Now, of course, it's pretty well known that it's a big part of American culture to order food at the drive-thru, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about drive-ins. Drive-ins are a still lasting remnant of a bygone era here in the United States, where you park your car at the designated drive-in, the car hop comes to you and takes your order, and then brings you your food. And you stay there in this exact same spot right next to the restaurant or cafe or whatever you want to call it. And I personally have come to consider this fine dining even in a Prius. Allow me to do a quick shout out to two that I've been to. Recently on my Route 66 journey, I visited the Polka Dot Inn in Braidwood, Illinois.
Oh,
and
cool.
Carhops served me every now and again at Jean's Root Beer stand in Anderson, Indiana. And I am told that in some of the more snazzy quarters of the United States, there are even car hops on roller skates, but they're difficult to find because
I like
it's not
that.
the 80s
That's pretty
anymore.
cool. Oh, we know what jaywalking is. But in the United Kingdom, in the UK, it's not illegal. You can walk across any street apart from a highway. And yeah, you're good.
Jaywalking. You may remember that I talked about this very topic a few months ago. I had absolutely no idea what jaywalking was. You know, it was a word that cropped up occasionally in films, but I just assumed it was a sport. I thought this was going to be a big deal, right? You know the joke, why did the chicken cross the road? Well, he didn't because he was too much of a chicken. At least that was the case at first, and after my wife had laughed at me 17 times, I started to get the impression that I might be overthinking this. All of the years that I've lived here, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, "Ooh, did you see Ashley? I think she was jaywalking. Better call the cops."
I'm pretty sure it's different in every state and every county, right?
The reason we don't have a word for jaywalking in the UK is because that law doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, despite our difficult relationship with rain and drizzle, we also don't have a word for this.
Yeah.
Admittedly.
I'd never really understood what that meant.
Perhaps owing to the digital age in which RSVPing or not RSVPing is done at the click of a button, the word rain check is sadly one I haven't encountered very often since moving here. But I do remember it featuring a lot in American films in the 80s, so that's good enough for me. Basically, when somebody takes a rain check, it's to indicate that that person cannot accept the invitation right now, right? But they'd be happy to turn up in the future. And you might be thinking, why is it called a rain check?
Yeah.
Does the coming together of people depend on whether or not it's raining? Sort of. You see, it originated in baseball. A coupon might have been handed to a baseball ticket holder when the game was cancelled due to rain, and that would mean that that coupon holder could then attend the rearranged game without being charged. And while Britain
I like that. That's cool. I like that's where it came from. Awesome.
also has a sport with a batsman and a lot of players who just stand around
Cricket.
for no reason, the term rain check never caught on. Of course, that could also be something to do with the fact that we often turn down invitations in favour of that non-specific thing that we've got going on this weekend. Either way, Britain doesn't use the word rain check, just like it doesn't use our final entry, unless you're talking about shoes.
No idea what this
That's
is.
right, Hush Puppy, and to me, and admittedly to millions of Americans, Hush Puppy was and is a brand of shoe. So it's very important.
It's a food though, isn't it?
British people living in America, like me, to know the difference between the shoe brand and something else that Americans call a hush puppy before I put my foot in it, literally in the case of the shoe. Because in the US, and once again, particularly in the southern US, a hush puppy is, once again, another type of fried dough. Specifically, it's a ball about the size of a clementine, of
hungry.
deep-fried cornmeal batter. And it sounds disgusting, but it's not. And if there was nobody around to keep an eye on me, I could happily eat 50 of them a day, but I'd no longer be alive. Put it this way, from experience, they do taste better than the shoe. And how do I know that? Because I was 11 years old once. That's it for this episode. Let me know
He's
in the
funny.
comments below some other things that the other country doesn't have a word for. I'm Lawrence Brown. You can follow me on Twitter.
I like him. He's nice. He's very funny. He's got that sarcastic humour about him, and I like that. But no, I didn't know a lot of those things. Hush Puppy I wasn't aware of, and the elephant ear I wasn't aware of. Rain check obviously I've heard before, but I've never used it as at all actually. But again in movies, and like you hear a lot of it like in Friends and stuff like that. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So there are 6 more of those to do, and yes, Those are words we don't have, those are things we don't have a word for. Jaywalking, the phrase, we know what it means, but it doesn't exist in the UK. I know this might be a foreign concept to all of you, but actually we are allowed to essentially cross any street, whether there is a crossing or not. We do have crossings like zebra crossings, which is like, you know, the striped crossings. We do have traffic lights. I don't know if you do call them traffic lights. We do have traffic lights or stop signals where you can cross the street like in the United States. But if I wanted to cross the street anywhere I wanted, as long as it wasn't a major highway, perfectly legal, no fines, nice and easy. I wouldn't recommend it though, because the same reason you guys have the law, because you very well might likely get hit by a car and you don't want that. But that's it, yeah, pretty cool. We've got 6 more of those to do. I'm really excited. I won't do them all this week, maybe 2 a week, maybe 1 per week, and that will stretch out for another 7 weeks. Gives you something to look forward to. I really like Lawrence. He's a great guy, and he's got some great information that I'm learning as well. So now I know what an elephant ear is. I know what grits are. I know what hush puppies are. I want to try those hush puppies. They sound great. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I really, really appreciate your support. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to support me on Patreon, I'll leave a link down in the description of this video, and you know exactly what you'll be seeing on Patreon. The same thing will be for Twitter and Instagram, will be down in the description of this video. So if you want to follow me on those platforms, go right ahead. I'm really looking forward to showing you as much as I can of my content, and that's something that really excites me. So guys, have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.